Good morning, Santa Cruz County Public Media. We are here in Morley Avenue in our We Love Nogales in Santa Cruz County Public Media studio. And we are very excited because we are almost done with our segments of Meet Your Local Candidates. We're getting very close to voting. Some of you already are voting by mail, voting in person early. So thank you so much for that. We are about to finish this segment, and it's been an amazing journey because we're getting to know our local candidates. Please don't forget to check them out. We're live right now in YouTube and on Facebook. But if you check on YouTube and Spotify, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, all the interviews from our local candidates will be there. So please go check them out, get to know your local candidate, and vote. We have the pleasure to have today Alejandro Paz. Alejandro, welcome to our studio.
Marita?
Yeah, of course. It's such a great pleasure to have you here. I know you've been here a couple of times. You are running for treasurer for Santa Cruz County,
Yes.
and you are also our appointed treasurer in Santa Cruz County. So I love to talk to you because at the same time we've been learning in our county how a person that did an interview with all the board, all Santa Cruz County representatives, you submitted your resume and everything, go through different interviews, and you get appointed. But you also have to run, and it's your first time running as a candidate for treasurer. So I would love to hear from you all this journey, your experience. And then if you allow us, we would love to ask you a couple of things also of your running as a candidate and why you're seeking for re-election and all those good questions.
Thank you, Marita. Thank you, Marita and Edgardo. We
Of
love
course.
Nogales, Public Media, for having me and for having all of the candidates, giving us the platform, the opportunity to showcase ourselves and really
Yes.
talk to the community about why we are the best candidates for the positions that we are running. You mentioned it. I was appointed back in May 13th was my first date. I was appointed May 7th after an interview process with three other candidates. So there was a pool, an interview, a panel, about 10 to 12 people from the county who unanimously selected in my favor so that I could take over and start rectifying the treasurer's office due to the situation that occurred. I didn't know what I was getting into then. I do now, but I don't regret it. I don't have a change of heart. I don't have a change of mind. I feel strongly confident that I was selected for a reason, and it's my background, my knowledge, my experience, and my person. I think those are all traits that must be held by any one individual who's looking to obtain such an important role within the county. So I'm glad that they saw it as well, and they had the confidence in me to take over and rectify. So again, no regrets. I'm extremely happy to be there. I've been there for 5 months, working extremely hard, day in and day out, to rectify the situation, ensure it doesn't occur again, and make sure that not only our constituents, but also our districts that bank with the treasurer's office feel like they have peace of mind and that they're in the best hands possible when it comes to their finances. So my background experience that got me here, or that helped get me to this point, is my banking background. When I graduated from Nogales High School in 2007, I transitioned to Arizona State University. At the same time, while being a full-time student, I became a full-time Wells Fargo employee. I started as a teller. Then I held a lead teller position, personal banker, service manager, branch manager, and ultimately my last position with the bank was the Wells Fargo at Work program manager, where I was able to oversee 52 Wells Fargo branch locations in Southern Arizona. Worked with district managers, business banking, government banking, and I also worked a lot with the public and private sector, as well as the individuals within those 52 branches, to educate them on the risk management, our policies and procedures, our products and services, and how to work together as a company, but also how to work together with the community by providing them the resources and the tools that they need to make sound financial decisions. Aside from that, early in my days, I was always a huge advocate on volunteerism. So I worked very closely with the Boys and Girls Club in high school, with the community food bank as well. I was blessed to receive a one-time scholarship from the Boys and Girls Club when I graduated from Nogales High School to go to ASU. And now I'm part of their board members. So I'm a board of director for the Boys and Girls Club, which is something that I've always wanted to be a part of. And my volunteerism continued through my university career and my professional career with dozens of organizations that we volunteered for. So I'm very huge on community. I moved back here to Santa Cruz County 4.5 years ago, almost 5. Best decision. We did have options, but we decided to come home for many reasons. We have a lot of support system here. We have a huge family. We're from here. And then we love Santa Cruz County. I love Nogales. I'm married. I have 2 kids who are in the public school system here. My nieces, my nephews, uncles, aunts, everybody resides here and works here. And so I wanted to come back, make an impact in the best way that I possibly could. And it's not just by diving into any role that is out there, but really where my passion lies, where my experience lies, and where my knowledge lies. And when the opportunity came up, I couldn't pass it up. And I also couldn't let the wrong person go into office without the qualifications.
I see. And thank you for sharing that. It's so important to get to know the background of a candidate, to get to know the knowledge of the candidate. And I think yours, it's very peculiar because of the situation that we all know, right? The money that it's gone from our county, they needed a new treasurer. We had a lot of people within our county, maybe they apply for that job, but your knowledge and your experience, it's what brought you here. And then I'm sure then you knew, or you realized, like, I gotta run, I gotta, I gotta do this, so people can now vote for me, because that was first how you got through in there with experience. But now you have to run a whole campaign. And I love to hear from our candidates when they sit down and they share with us, all the support that they've been getting within, family, friends, people. So, but you just being in that position for a couple of months and then say, like, okay, I gotta put a campaign together. How was that?
Yeah, so it was eye-opening. I didn't know at first, I'll be honest, that I had to run. I applied for the job. I'm like, okay, if I get it, I can be there. And nope, you have to run. You have to be elected. And so if I was interested in the job as an applicant, I was also interested to be elected, to continue the work. I didn't want to step into the role for 7 months and do all the extremely hard work to rectify the situation. And of course, we're not going to rectify it in 7 months or even a year, but at least the work has started. And we don't have to transition that to somebody else who is going to come in oblivious to what the treasurer's office has to do, or what it has been through. So I jumped on it. At first, I had to be a write-in candidate, which is absolutely fine. We were past the deadlines when we submitted my nominations. And so we worked extremely hard, not only in the treasurer's office while trying to rectify this, run the day-to-day operations, cross-train staff members, hire team members, going through significant change, but also I have to manage and run a campaign. You mentioned it. I was blessed with a lot of support. I do have a big family system, friend system, and a lot of new faces who just through meeting me and engaging in conversation have joined my campaign and offered their help. By going out canvassing, or by being at the voting centers, by wearing a shirt, by putting a sticker on their car, anything helps. Sharing on Facebook, Instagram, talking to your friends at church or at home, at dinners, at parties. So it's definitely the motivation one needs, because it's not an easy thing to do. I commend all candidates, regardless of how they're leading their campaigns. We've seen a little bit of everything within this elections. I think it has to do a lot with the situations that we're in. However, I don't believe that's an excuse. We're a lot better than that. And so we should be able to run clean, respectful campaigns.
Yes.
And let the people choose.
Yes.
And so I've kept it that way. You've seen it.
Yes.
The community has seen it, I hope. My campaign entirely has been clean, respectful, and we will continue to do that. We will not stoop down to anybody's level to try to prove a point. I think my work ethic, the work that I've done already in the Treasurer's Office, the plans that we have for the future, will speak for themselves, and they will be able to see that they made the right choice in voting for Alejandro Paz.
Exactly, and thank you for sharing that, Alejandro Paz. Because yes, that's why we're here for. You know, we want to make sure that we open the doors for everyone, and that we share all this educational, all this positive leaders that we have, because we want to make sure that our audience, you know, they have the respect that they deserve, and at the same time to get to know the person, the people, you know, running a campaign. And as I was sharing on my last program with a couple of candidates, you have to do this with passion. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here, you know, running for a leadership position here and putting all your, you know, your strength, your family. So my admiration goes as well with all the candidates.
And our audience is not just the voter.
Yes.
It's the younger generation as well. They're watching, they're learning. I mean, my daughter at the forum sat through the whole forum. She visits every bathroom. She likes to get to know every bathroom. She didn't get up, she didn't go outside to play. She sat through the whole entire forum and listened to every candidate. And she was very into the conversation. And so we have to be careful and cautious with how we lead our campaigns. It really sets the tone for our younger generation of how they're going to get involved in politics, how they're going to vote in the future. And so I think if we educate with kindness, we educate with facts and knowledge, we'll be in great shape. But when we are misleading, providing misleading information. I'll say it in Spanish because I don't know how to say it in English, pero hay un dicho que dice, prefiero ser tonto 5 minutos que por toda la vida.
Sí, sí, claro.
And there's been a lot of candidates who unfortunately for the rest of their life will be the latter part, right? But I'm not one of those because I like to keep my mouth closed. If I don't know, I will be honest and transparent and let you know, I'm not sure. Let me find out for you. Let me do the research. I'll get back to you. And once I have the knowledge, then I'll speak about it. But in the meantime, I'm not going to talk about something I don't know just to say words, just to say something, especially when they have no meaning or no backup.
Right. Y muchas gracias por dejarnos saber todo eso, porque al final, como dices, como lo mencionas, Alejandro Paz, corriendo para Treasurer de nuestro condado de Santa Cruz County, qué gran responsabilidad estamos dando para nuestros niños, es verdad. Los que somos papás o abuelos o tíos y que llevamos también a este tipo de forums a nuestros niños, queremos educarlos y los llevamos ahí para que ellos se enseñen y a la misma vez para que entiendan el proceso de votar, y queremos que ellos vean qué tan qué tan respetuosos pueden ser un candidato. Y me gustó mucho, platicamos también hace poco del forum, qué buen forum fue el forum de Tubac, donde se sientan los candidatos a lado con la persona oponente, ¿no? Vamos a decir, porque están corriendo en contra de, pero qué respetuoso fue al momento. Y lo digo de mi vista, lo que yo vi, qué respetuoso fue ver a los candidatos entrar, saludarse, cuando te vi a ti también estando con tu oponente, como qué caballeroso, qué respetuoso, y me encantó ver eso yo como mujer, el de que se sentara primero, eso de te paso el micrófono, tú eres primero, y lo vi con todos los demás candidatos que eran también, o las dos personas hombres, de decir, contestas tú primero, o quién contesta. Me gustó mucho ver esa unión para enseñarles a nuestras familias, a nuestras personas, o a las mismas personas que están ayudando al candidato opuesto, que podemos saludar, que
Sí.
podemos sonreír, que podemos ayudar unos a los otros. Y eso no quiere decir que vamos a estar siempre de acuerdo, pero qué
Exactamente.
bonito decir que estamos respetando el uno al otro. Y eso nos encanta, porque eso es lo que estamos haciendo adentro de Santa Cruz County Public Media, adentro de We Love Nogales. Queremos tener esa unión porque al final todos somos líderes y podemos ayudarnos unos al otro, porque estás trabajando por tener un condado mejor, igual que ellos también. Entonces, muchas gracias por darnos esa dirección y esa educación, porque cuando yo lo vi y vi no solo a ti, pero a los demás candidatos, dije, qué bonito ese respeto, qué bonito que vea todo nuestro público, que Santa Cruz County somos personas educadas, somos personas que vamos a llevar nuestro condado a un lugar mejor. Y sí, qué lástima que han pasado muchísimas cosas, como el robo de 40, casi 40 millones de dólares. Y es lo que hablamos mucho y lo que platicamos, porque es algo que a veces nos sentimos tan frustrados de decir, todo esto es dinero de nuestro pueblo, todo fue dinero que se pudo haber hecho tantas cosas, ¿no? Entonces, me gustaría preguntarte también como candidato, pues, what are some of the things that you will do in light of transparency? ¿Cómo tú vas a poder tener ese transparency para nuestro público, de poder nosotros saber qué está pasando ahora en este departamento? Porque sabemos que ahora es lo que más va a llamar la
Sí.
atención, a lo mejor por estos años, por estos 10 años, por estos 20 años, porque fue algo muy doloroso y muy difícil saberlo entre la comunidad, pero también entonces, como tú como persona en el condado, el tesorero que nos va a representar, ¿qué puedes hacer para que se mantenga este transparency adentro de tu departamento?
We have to start first just being transparent. And unfortunately, the Treasurer's Office administration in the past was not as transparent. But I've said it hundreds of times. There's some others out there who disagree that this is a way of transparency, but I think it's the most transparent out of everything that we could possibly do, because you'll get face value versus a report versus something posted on a website.
Right.
I have an open door policy. Come and talk to me. If you go to the board meetings, every single board meeting I'm there. I've missed 2, one in July, one today, because we're here right now. It's happening as we're speaking. You can see me there. Come up to me, ask questions. We can go to my office, talk. You can email me, you can call me, or you can come visit us. I'm giving face value. I'm putting myself in front of the situation and making sure that you get the answers that you get, and that you know who you're talking to, and that you're not just reading some report that you might not understand. So that's what I mean when I say an open door policy is to give you face value and not hide behind a desk or behind a phone on social media, or just nowhere to be found. I'm there. Come and see me. You want to hear it, you can hear it directly from me, who is the current treasurer and who will hopefully be your treasurer for the next 4 years at least. So that's one. 2, as soon as we are able to, as we are currently working through restatements of financials, going through all of that, the legal situation, there's certain holdbacks we can't, or processes that we can't move forward with until the legal situation is completed. But eventually, what will happen, and hopefully sometime in the near future, is we're going to be posting the treasurer's reports. We're going to be posting the bank reconciliations. We're going to be sharing all that information. But we're going to take it a step further. Part of my plan is to do a treasurer's 101. Start it first with the districts that bank with my office, that we manage their funds for, and expand it to the rest of the county employees so that they all have a good understanding of what the treasurer is responsible for, what the functions are, what our processes are, and what our policies are. And that way them as employees can also ask questions or can be in the know of what exactly is happening and how our money is being spent.
I see.
The others, of course, as I mentioned in prior interviews, is we're changing from a one-step reconciliation to a five-step reconciliation. So it'll include 5 people reconciling the items. We've done a lot of increase in the checks and balances. If you create a journal entry, you don't review your own journal entry. You pass it on to another party for them to review, make sure your entries are correct before it gets put into the system. And then after, when it's put into the system, we make sure and double verify again that it was exactly entered into the system, how it was put on the paper, how it was verified by the second person, and then it all matches and closes. We're investing in a safe point machine that will be in our vault where we can strictly deposit cash as we receive it, and it immediately goes into the bank. We're processing deposits also in-house immediately for check payments, so that it goes quicker. We get a scanned image, and we also retain the copies for retention purposes or situations that might arise. I plan to be here more with you guys.
Yes,
I do.
please.
If I do get elected, I plan to come out here. If you guys
course.
will give me the opportunity to, so we can have a roundtable. We can provide treasurer updates. We can provide county-wide updates. But I am here for the public. The best way that I can be transparent is by being available. You won't understand the reporting at first, but again, that's what the Treasurer 101 will be for, so that you can be educated on what to look for, what to ask. And don't be shy from asking. You'll get 2 responses from me. One, it will be, I don't know, or let me find out for you, I'm not sure, let me do some research, I'll get back to you. Or, here it is. This is what this transaction is for, this is the backup documentation, here's your approval from the department, etc. We've also, my intentions are to, if elected, once we find out all the electeds, Board of Supervisors would be adding to the banking institutions for oversight as well. It's not my money, I have nothing to hide, I am here to do the job, do it right, do it better. And so by all means, they can be constantly looking. They can ask as many questions as they like. We've set additional features where the treasurer, and I will put this into policy and procedures so that nobody after me can change it, is the treasurer is not allowed to initiate or send any wires out at all, ever. So if a wire is initiated by me, or by any other treasurer who might be elected, that should be an alert not only to the county but to the bank, and so we should start investigating and doing some research there.
I see.
Even bank-to-bank transfers need to be initiated by another team member. We've set up a password system over the phone, different steps in between before those transfers can be initiated, with a lot of verification processes in the way.
Awesome.
With the bank changes, we're going to implement a lot of new services, positive payee or payee name verification, to avoid any fraud. Fraud happens often, and fraudsters get very creative nowadays. And so these are just added things that we're going to add to protect our money. And in efforts to be more transparent, we're including all the districts in our bank communications and our bank connections and part of the integration to the new bank. And so there's a lot going on. And there will be a lot more changes to come once we know who is elected. And if it is me, then the hard work continues. It's already started. It just continues, and we get to do it with a little bit more comfort zone that we're at least in there for the next 4 years.
Awesome. And thank you for sharing all those things that are happening, because also we get to know, that there's been changes, that there's been more prevention at the time of sending money, sharing information, and how great it is that we know now that we can ask questions. We can about you just sharing the open door policy is, just go and ask a question, and you will be there, or a person will be there to answer. And how important it is for us to, if we have something, we're doubting, just to go ask, and we will have an answer soon. And I think how important it is also the accountability, the person talking to our public directly, because and that's why we're doing this, meet your local candidates, and hopefully, yes, please, thank you for sharing that you will be coming more often, because we are always making sure that we share positive information, good news that the public needs to know, so we can continue to learn. So it will be great if we can have updates here on our Santa Cruz County Public Media, on our studio, because it is important to get to know where all this money goes, how it's working for our county, for our students, for our benefit. So thank you so much for sharing that. And I know the at the forum that the question, there was a question that we all want to know, right? We live here, we live in Santa Cruz County, and we were all talking about property taxes and what was going to happen with our property taxes once we started to receive them already. If they were increasing, and if they were increasing, why? If it was because of all, the situation with the Treasury Department.
So there was an increase this year. The tax rates went down, but because property values went up, people saw an increase in their property taxes. The Nogales districts, for example, they saw an increase because last November 2023, the community voted to support the debt service for Nogales Unified School District. And so that came into this year's tax roll. And so they're seeing a significant impact there, mainly in Nogales, because it's a new taxing authority that was applied to them. So that's why they're seeing increases. In the conversations I've been involved in, tax rates did not increase, as I just confirmed. And tax rates will not increase due to the alleged embezzlement by the past treasurer. They will not. And that is something that I will also be very adamant about and be very boisterous about to ensure that it does not happen. If somebody were to bring up that idea of possibly raising it due to the situation, we can't allow it, and I won't allow it, at least to the best of my ability. And so it will not happen. From what I'm hearing in the conversations, and it shouldn't happen. The only reasons they change is if, again, there's anything voted in that impacts your tax rates, property values go up, and or I'm assuming if they do any expenditure overrides where they request to spend more than what they're allowed to spend on their budget. And just one quick clarification, because there's been some misleading information. Just because there's a number on the budget, it doesn't mean that's what the county has at the bank. A budget is a budget. It's a plan. It's what you are possibly, or what you're hoping you're allocating those funds to hopefully be able to use them if you get them.
I see.
If you get those funds. Not all the time you get those funds, so you have to budget for it. You're planning for the future, and then things start coming in. Some things don't come in for
Just
whatever
like
the
life.
reason may be.
Yes.
Exactly, and so then you have a difference between your budget and your expenditures, which is the money that maybe was not received, or it's in reserves and hasn't been spent, or it was returned. And so that's going to be part of the County 101, most likely, is to educate the community and some of our leaders who are running for these positions who think they know how it works, but unfortunately are misleading others by explaining it the wrong way. So again, a budget is just like a plan for the future. It's not like we have $160 million in our bank account or what we're going to receive. It's an anticipation. In case we do receive it, we're able to spend those funds.
Right, I see. And thank you for teaching us all those little things. I always share, I learn day by day by sitting with our leaders, and sitting with our candidates. So this is amazing, and again, it's the accountability. It's the person, teaching us, and that it's serving and already as a treasurer. And how awesome, because I think we can ask also questions that you might already know them, since you're serving there for how long?
5 months.
For 5 months.
And I've worked in a treasurer's office for 5 months.
Yes,
My career
yes.
is in banking, with banks, financial services with the University of Arizona. So I'm no expert. I don't know it all. I didn't know it all when I went in.
Right.
I was clueless to a lot of things, but
Yes.
my background empowered me to be
Exactly.
able to move quickly with rectifying the issue and making sure that our treasurer's office works the way it's supposed to work by state law and by the expectations of our constituents. I'm doing just that.
Muchas gracias. Y gracias, Alejandro Paz, corriendo para Santa Cruz County Treasurer, para nuestro condado. Ya llevas trabajando 5 meses como treasurer de nuestro condado. Estás haciendo tu campaña ahora. Y qué bueno que nos explicas muchos de los detalles que como te platico, a veces yo no tenía ese conocimiento y dejarnos saber que nos vas a poder llevar a caminar en todas estas situaciones y respuestas a todo esto que se está llevando ahora en nuestro condado, que preocupante, ¿no? Ha sido para muchos de nosotros y de qué manera hemos visto diferentes situaciones. Entonces, muchas gracias por compartir. Tengo varias... Tengo varias personas y muchas gracias por compartir sus comentarios. Así que tienes muchas personas aquí diciendo Alejandro Paz, best candidate, you can count on my vote. Good morning, great interview. Alejandro Paz is the best candidate for this position. So, muchísimas gracias a nuestro público. De verdad que se los agradecemos
Yes,
porque
thank you.
we are here for all of you. We want to make sure that when it's time to vote, we all learn together. I am no expert. I am just opening con mucho cariño our doors to all candidates and on the same way, because we want to make sure que when we have our ballot, we check and we check mark and we check that person, because we got to know a lot or a little bit about our candidates. Todos nuestros interviews están ahí, así que muchísimas gracias por vernos a todos. Muchas gracias por esos comentarios, porque pienso, Alejandro, que at the same time es lo que, como tú comentabas, te da un empujoncito. Y con eso te quiero preguntar, ¿qué ha sido lo que más has disfrutado y lo que obviamente lo que menos has disfrutado corriendo, haciendo una campaña? Porque pues pienso que también estás animando a muchos jóvenes o muchas generaciones de que, como platicamos, era muy peculiar tu situación. Entraste por todo ese conocimiento, pero también era como, tienes que hacer campaña, así que
Sí.
a correr. Así que platícanos, ¿qué ha sido tus favoritos y no tan favoritos haciendo tu campaña?
Empezamos, yo creo que con lo menos favorito, porque son dos cosas. Soy muy apegado a mi familia, somos muy cercanos, nos gusta estar juntos mucho el tiempo, y una campaña toma mucho de tu tiempo.
Sí.
Salgo de mi casa a las 7 de la mañana y hay veces que llego a las 8, 8:30, 9 después del trabajo todo el día, desde eventos, ir a tocar puertas, que es parte de todo lo favorito, pero pues me quita de las otras cosas favoritas mías, ¿no? Que es mi familia y el tiempo con ellos, con los niños. Entonces, cada momento que sí alcanzo, que hay un break, un descanso, aprovecharlo. Esa es una de las cosas nomás que te quita un poquito mucho de tiempo con tu familia y tus cosas, ¿no? Y la otra, lo mencioné más temprano, es solo la falta de respeto de ciertos candidatos en todas las posiciones. Yo sé que cada uno lo ha sentido. No todos han llevado una campaña limpia y respetuosa. Y lo que no me gusta es que sean mentiras. Si fuera verdad, pues bueno, no te digo nada.
Sí, claro.
Pero ahora yo ya aprendí a no me enojo, no me molesto, no me viene ni me va. He entendido que la gente inventa y habla cuando te tiene miedo. Cuando te tienen miedo o cuando quieren algo que tú tienes. Entonces, esas, la verdad, sencillas, pero esas, entonces ni les ponemos atención a eso, lo dejamos atrás y nos enfocamos en nosotros, que viene con lo favorito, ¿no? Yo llevo mi campaña limpia, respetuosa, enfocada en mí, en mi oficina, en mis empleados, en lo que yo como el candidato, porque yo soy el candidato, no la comunidad de Santa Cruz, no todos los que están en el condado de Santa Cruz son los candidatos, yo soy el candidato, yo sería el elegido, entonces yo tengo que darles mis propuestas,
Claro.
¿verdad? Y enfocarnos en eso, pero lo favorito ha sido la gente. La gente, la verdad, gracias a Dios hay mucha gente que entiende que lo que pasó, pasó por alguien más. Yo soy Alejandro Paz, soy nuevo en la oficina de la tesorería, no tiene nada que ver con lo que pasó o lo que ha pasado, sino desde el 13 de mayo yo soy responsable. Desde el 13 de mayo reclámenme lo que quieran.
Sí, exacto.
Atrás de eso,
solo estás.
Yo estoy aquí para corregir lo que pasó. Entonces, gracias a Dios hay mucha gente que entiende eso, ese concepto. Hay cierta que no. Y diga y haga lo que haga o diga lo que diga, no van a cambiar de opinión y está bien. Cada quien. Pero lo favorito ha sido la gente. He ido a tocar muchas puertas. Aparte de lo que no es lo favorito son los perros. Sea un chihuahua o sea un gran danés. Yo veo un chihuahua y primero así como que meto la mano a ver si me va a morder, si es bueno o no. Pero tocando las puertas, hablando con la gente, he escuchado a otros candidatos decir que la gente ha sido muy buena y sí es cierto, la gente te recibe. Al principio te pones nervioso, cómo te van a recibir, los estoy molestando a mala hora. Y van a estar presentes o no, eso sí te pones nervioso, pero la verdad la gente a mí, como ciertos que han dicho, me han recibido muy bien, han tomado el provecho de hacerme preguntas y con mucho gusto se las contesto lo que pueda y lo que no, apunto su información, hago mis investigaciones y estoy seguro de que les regrese la llamada o vuelva a tocarles la puerta para contestarles la pregunta o la duda que tenían. Platicar con ellos sobre los programas que ofrece el condado, no solo mi oficina, pero la asesoría, el recorders y todos los demás, los servicios que tenemos para que los puedan usar y utilizar y a su beneficio. Ir a los eventos, me ha tocado ir a muchos eventos que nunca, la verdad, a muchos eventos no he participado. Acabo de mover aquí hace 4 años, ¿no? Pero no he participado y es una de las cosas que me he dado cuenta, que el condado de Santa Cruz pone muchas actividades para el público, para la gente. Lo que me he dado cuenta, desafortunadamente, es que la gente no lo aprovecha. La gente que lo aprovecha mucho son los que vienen del otro lado. Los vas a ver en cada evento, participando y traen a sus niños. Y sí hay gente de aquí del condado de Santa Cruz también que va, pero no lo suficiente. Pero eso ha sido parte favorita porque conozco mucha gente, muchos negocios, y a todos los puedo ayudar o con todos podemos hacer amigos y platicar, aunque tengamos diferencias de opiniones, el respeto mutuo en la comunidad ahí está, entonces eso ha sido lo favorito y el aprendizaje de cómo se hace una campaña limpia, respetuosa, enfocada en ti, en tus propuestas y el mejoramiento del condado de Santa Cruz y toda la gente, y sobre las funciones de la tesorería. Han sido mi favorito, la responsabilidad que me cargo es parte de lo favorito porque yo sé que la gente puede confiar en mí y están en buenas manos.
Thank you for sharing, Alejandro. Muchísimas gracias, because we want also, to show to our audience, to our public, all these amazing things, that comes with running a campaign and all these amazing things that a leader that has a passion for us, for the public, for our county, it's doing to get to have that leadership position to walk us through a better community, to walk us through a better place, and that's what we want to know and we want to hear. We have another comment. I think we're having a great audience, and I really appreciate all these comments, please send them over. Send them to your candidate as well. We have one more, and it says Alejandro is the best choice, a true leader, proving actions speak louder than words, already working extremely hard for a positive change for Santa Cruz County. New generation leadership for a good change. Vote for Alejandro Paz. That's awesome. So, you have great community, and thank you again to all of our audience for watching us, for watching Meet Your Local Candidates, because I know every candidate takes time to come here to pass all this news to the community directly from the person, and that person is responsible for all of what they're sharing and what they're talking, because it's then us, the community, listening and understanding directly from that person. So thank you so much. And Alejandro, last question, so you can share to your audience. You're having great comments, so please let us know why will be important to vote in Santa Cruz County like right now, and why it will be important to vote for Alejandro Paz as our Santa Cruz County treasurer.
Well, it's important because it's your voice. If you want to make sure you have the right people in the office for whatever position it may be, then you have to vote. Otherwise, don't complain. But make your voice be heard, get educated like we've been talking about, and that's a lot of what you guys are doing with having your candidates come over here, Patagonia Regional Times, and the Santa Cruz Valley Citizens Council hosting forums for the community to attend, is so that you guys can get educated and make informed decisions on who you want to vote and who you want in that office, and to be your elected official. These are important roles, these are important jobs, they are very busy positions, and you have to be able to be capable to handle it while serving the public and answering to the public and responding and being present and being out there. So it's important to vote for the obvious reasons, so you get the right person in the office. It's not always about who you know, how you know them, but it's a lot about their background, their characteristics as a person, as a human being. We're human. We're not Superman or Superwoman. We are human beings. We are not perfect. But do your research, get educated, and don't believe everything you read or see or hear out there. It's a lot of the times when it's with ill intent, you'll know it's with ill intent. Don't believe it all. Question it. Go to that candidate that they're referring to and ask him if it's true, or ask her if it's true, or to enlighten you, or to give you some explanation, because we owe you that. As your public servants, we owe you explanations on whatever you ask questions on. So it's important to vote for those reasons. It's important to vote for me, in particular, as I stated throughout the interview, my experience within the banking and financial services sector for 15 years plus. My knowledge, my expertise, my passion, my relationships within the community, my involvement within the community, and just my person, the type of person that I am. So if you haven't had the pleasure, or if I haven't had the pleasure to meet you, let's meet. I've said it, I think last time, if you see me at Walmart buying dog food, stop me if you want to. I don't mind. If we're having dinners, come up, talk to me. It's okay. Just not while I'm about to put it in, put the spoonful in my mouth. But you'll see the type of person that I am and the type of work that I will do, and you'll be comfortable and have peace of mind that you made the right choice in selecting Alejandro Paz.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing. There's more comments coming in. Alejandro Paz, I think, and thank you to our audience. I think we have to invite you more often, because all our audience or our public keep posting. So thank you so much to our audience. It says, I am so proud of you, Alejandro, because the changes you are implementing right now are staying in place, keeping the county's money safe. It's starting with you and future treasurers. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
So, hay unos empujoncitos que siempre, como mencionamos, todos los candidatos lo necesitan para seguir trabajando por nosotros y para nosotros. Te agradezco mucho todas las explicaciones porque al final nos estamos sentando con una persona, con un ser humano, con un padre de familia, con un esposo, pero con una persona trabajadora que está dando la cara del departamento de Treasure para todo el condado de Santa Cruz County, Alejandro Paz, y ahorita estás buscando que voten por ti. Así que muchísimas gracias por darnos también esta plática tan amena y tan humana, porque sabemos también que se presentan diferentes opiniones, diferentes cosas, y a la misma vez que bueno es dejar saber que somos seres humanos, que no eres una máquina que trabaja de día y noche y que a la misma vez estás cumpliendo aquí por todos y para todos nosotros. Te agradezco mucho todas estas palabras porque es en nombre, y tú mismo lo dijiste, en nombre de todos los candidatos que están trabajando arduamente para este final. Ya mismo se acaban estas elecciones. Así que te agradezco que estés aquí. Las puertas están abiertas para que nos sigas dando cualquier update, cualquier cosa que esté pasando en la oficina del condado. Así que muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Muchísimas gracias a nuestra audiencia. Muchísimas gracias por los comentarios. Los leemos y cuando no los podemos leer, se los pasamos también siempre a nuestros candidatos. Muchísimas gracias a todos. Hay que salir a votar, ya mismo terminamos, estamos a semanas solamente de votar, así que llévense a toda su familia a que voten, ya sea temprano, a que voten por correo o a que voten en noviembre 5. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos, gracias por escucharnos, gracias por escuchar a nuestros local candidates. Tenemos uno más para un candidato para el día de hoy y con eso cerramos esto de Meet Your Local Candidates, y de verdad que nos da mucho gusto porque abrimos las puertas de nuestro estudio con todo nuestro corazón para poner nuestro granito de arena, para saber y poder conocer de todos nuestros candidatos. Gracias a todos nuestros candidatos que nos hicieron reach out. Pienso que cumplimos la meta de que candidato que nos fuera llamando, candidato que lo pudimos presentar en nuestro We Love Nogales, Santa Cruz County Public Media, porque para eso estamos, para hacer broadcast our community to the world with educational and positive news. Así que muchísimas gracias. Alejandro Paz, corriendo para Santa Cruz County, te deseo muchísima suerte y nos estamos viendo en nuestro condado. Muchísimas gracias.
Gracias a ti.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.